My name is Nolan Hall. I will be your platform assistant today for Leah Mayhew. Or Lana, I'm sorry. Long morning. So if everybody could rise and we can open the service with Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Now, if we could all recite our mission statement. We welcome all as we create loving community, teach universal truths, practice spiritual principles, and live life abundantly. And together, in affirming our vision prayer. Together we acknowledge that the universe is safely guiding unity of being into the future. We release all resistance to change, letting go of what was and embracing the new. We believe that the harmonizing power of love is showing us the way to navigate transition. Together we walk in faith as we welcome what and who is to come with open minds and hearts. Together we are willing and we are ready now. Thank you, God, and so it is. You may now be seated. I would like to open with a opening prayer. We are gathered here today to stand in the light of what is, what can be, and what shall be. To have faith, to see what is new and accepted. Thank you, Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
And if we could say it together, the affirmation. I step to fear and stand in the truth of God with my faith. All right. Do we have any visitors today? Or okay. We have this. And I would like to welcome our guest speaker once again. Sorry, I'll make it stick together. Here we go. Lana Mayhew. She is a board-certified art therapist and licensed social worker. She has worked with children, teens, and adults and families for 31 years. She works with individuals and families with all mental health disorders, as well as chemical dependencies. Since 1999, she has provided spiritual counseling at the Emeritus Religious Science as a Emeritus. I didn't ask you this morning. And oh my Lord. That's what babies do to you. As an emeritus religious science practitioner, Lana has helped people identify belief systems that are creating negative life patterns and help them create more of the life they want through spiritual principles and prayer. Lana has conducted several spiritual art therapy workshops and on the topics of grief, body image, and the body-mind connection of disease, illness, and pain. You can all welcome Lana Mayhew. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you all for being patient. I'm scatterbrained today. Usually isn't this bad. Right. And if we could all stand and sing God Is.
All one in the same key, right?
I think this is one of the
I In the morning when I rise, in the morning I close my eyes, and before I close my eyes. Anytime I'm in despair, I can speak this little prayer. God's light surrounds me, God's love enfolds me, God's power protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever we are, God is. When the golden starts to glow, and they beat upon your door. Every night will have its dawn. Hold the star as you hold on. God's light surrounds you. God's love enfolds you. God's power protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is. We all hear the Spirit's call. It's a small world after all. Bound together in and through. This one common simple truth. God's light surrounds us. God's love enfolds us. God's power protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God's light surrounds us. God's love enfolds us. God's power protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
All right, you have me seated. Read the daily word. The word of today is release. Releasing the past to make room for the future. My life experiences have provided me with many gifts. From joyous to painful, I have taken something from each one, an area of wisdom, understanding, solace. That has helped me evolve into the person I am today. I am always growing, always changing. With gratitude, I receive the blessings while letting painful memories go. I have no room for regret, and do not dwell on things I have no power to change. As I release unwanted thoughts and unpleasant memories, I free myself to enjoy new experiences and create beautiful, lasting memories. With an uncluttered mind and an unburdened heart, I embrace the present moment and eagerly create my bright, beautiful future. The scripture is, a time to see and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away. Ecclesiastes 3:6. All right, we can all stand again, and we can sing the 100 ways.
There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. At least 100 ways for me to receive. I embrace my good, and I do believe. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. At least 100 ways for me to believe. And countless blessings that I have received. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways my good is coming to me. My good is coming to me. My good is coming to me. Go ahead and tiptoe through your life, thinking in the future you can start some strife. But I'm gonna bypass the worry and the way today. I'm fighting on faith. I'm fighting on faith. We can carry all night by the things that change. So many nights by so many ways. But I'm gonna find a way to celebrate. I'm fighting on faith. I'm fighting on faith. Pick up my baggage and I threw it out the door. Not looking back because my past is such a bore. I'm gonna stand with the moon, with the stars up in my face today. I'm fighting on faith. I'm fighting on faith. You can worry for the worry, let the fear take the crowd. Imagine the worst overcome with God. No way to know, knowing is the only way today. I'm fighting on faith. I'm Picked up my baggage and I'm moving out the door. Not looking back because that's the way before. I'm gonna stand with the moon with the stars up in my face today. You can go ahead and tiptoe through your life, thinking of the future rest on the right. But I'm gonna bypass the worry of the day today. I'm following.
Well, good morning, good morning. Is this on? Yep, I think it's on. There we go. That sounds better. All right. Yay. Well, I'm really glad to be back here. I know it's been a couple of months. It's probably been, I don't know how your life's been, but a couple of months, mine's been unfolding, I guess. So I really like all the songs that were chosen. They really, well, obviously we coordinated it together, but still, it was really good because it worked really well together. So here's my theme: stepping through fear to faith. That's not an easy task. That is absolutely not an easy task. How do I go about doing that and not get stuck in it? And that change and transition that's happening. I mean, you guys are going through that, trying to find a new minister and all of that. And so it's how not to get stuck in, oh my God, what's going to happen? How's this going to be? All that kind of stuff. It's almost like getting stuck in that La Brea tar pit, you know, where you're stuck in it. You're trying to move. You're trying to move off of something and trying to shake it off you. That stuff cannot come off. So change is inevitable, right? It's how do I want to experience it? What do I want to do? How can I do it? Because you can either go through change pretty easily, or you can hold on very tightly. You can hold on very tightly where nothing is happening, and there's so much pain in the holding on. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but as you probably know that, experiencing it, when you hold on to something that needs to unfold and needs to change, there's a lot of struggle there. There's a lot of pain that you can hold on to with all of that. And, you know, I know for myself, I know where this whole fear thing with change, I don't like change. I really don't. I wish I say, yeah, this is fantastic. I want to move through change. I don't like change. I think most people like kind of like, well, this was good enough. This is great. We'll just hang on and just be right here. And this is as good as it gets. But I know where my fear comes from. I know the pattern in my life. You know, as a licensed practitioner in religious science, we're always looking back at stuff of the pattern that gets still manifested out here in the present moment. And so I know where this is. So when I was a kid, my father worked for National Cash Register that, you know, used to be here, NCR, right? Yay, NCR, yay, it's sad, it's gone. So anyway, but we moved. My father worked there, and we would move from place to place. So not just like in the same city, we moved from state to state to state, like every 3 to 5 years. And, you know, I was a kid, so they're like, well, you're coming with us. You know what I mean? You're just coming with us. You don't have any choice. You don't have anything in that. And you're just going to be a new student again, you know? And I kept thinking, why in the fall? And I would always do this with jobs. Like I like, oh, this is great. I'm going to get a new job and whatever. And then it was usually in the fall when school starts, right? When school starts. So it would always be like this fear thing for me. I'm a new student, you know? So that's why I think that there's been this pattern of change for me. I've lived in the same house now, this is amazing, for 20 years. Yay! It's gonna be 100 years old next year, my house. And I never thought I would live in the city of Dayton, because you're very close together. And you're like maybe this far, apart from each other. So you really wanna like your neighbors, you really wanna like them. So here's my little story about, how we choose to have a perspective about how we want to do our life and how we go into our life and how we're standing in this. I worked with a woman, this has been years ago. I worked with this one lady, and she had a lot of trauma. And so when you go in with trauma, your belief system about the world is it's scary. It's scary. People don't like me. I've got to protect myself. I'm going to fight with people because it was a chaotic environment. And so that's the expectancy of something that's going to happen. So she would say, Lana, you know what? I go into Meyer and I always get in a fight at Meyer. What? Why do you get in a, what? Are you kidding me? You get in a fight at, who gets in a fight at Meyer? Really? I could go in there day and night. And I don't get in a fight at Meyer. It doesn't matter when it is, because her thought about, her life and everything was the fact that people are going to fight with me. I have to protect myself. So wherever she goes, whatever you put out there, you get back, right? So I have this expectancy that, I'm a nice person. People like me, but I grew up in a different environment. It was supportive, it was loving, it was encouraging. It's a completely different foundation to look at the world in when you grow up like that. And developmentally, when you grow up with that, you're not missing a whole bunch of skills, to live in life. Whereas in a chaotic environment, you're going to miss some skills because they just literally maybe weren't there or taught, which is really, really important. Meyer. Anyway, how do you do that? I don't know. Why are you going to? What side of town is this Myers on? I don't know. But oh well. I want, here's the thing. When we have these teachings, I want to stand in more of that truth of God. I want to stand in that power of God. I want to stand in the empowerment of these truths and these principles right here and right now. And thank God we can do that. We have all these principles that you guys teach. I know in Centers for Spiritual Living, we teach that God is within us, that God is around us. It is the very breath that we are breathing. We have been birthed out of that wholeness, that beautiful perfection that we are. We are that dynamic power. We are that dynamic power. And what happens is we can go through our lives and we gather all these experiences that negate that negate all those things, all these different experiences that we've grown up with as adults that we accumulate in our life. And I'm like, how did I get all this? What is all of this? Oh my God, it must have been unconscious or something. I mean, really, I'm like gathering all of these things with me. We do that as people. And it's so nice to know that I'm not all those experiences. I am part of this wholeness and this perfection, and no matter what's happened to me externally and experiences, it has never touched that place that is always that the beautiful divine power, that wholeness. We are the beloved. We are that beauty. So that's what I like about religious science, because I was always like, I grew up like Presbyterian and Methodist or whatever, and I literally did not pay attention. It was so boring to me. I just was so distracted. That's not surprising, people who know me, right? That I'm distracted. And I'm like, so I didn't have a lot to unlearn when I came to religious science, because I was like, this is my place. Like with Unity, my grandparents went to Unity and religious science, and they introduced that to me in California. I'm like, this is great. And then I left and went away and did all my other things. But I like the fact that I want to prove God. So in these principles, you can prove God, right? Just with a tithe, just with different things that you put out here into the universe and, what is going on. So it's always prove it to me. So I have a little story for you. I had gotten married. This was like 2000. So this is like 2001. And back in the day, when I worked at a place that had all these little nice perks, and they had a little lottery, you could win a condo. Not just for like a week or something. Not like you'd win a whole condo and you get to go there all the time. That'd be even better. But that would be fantastic. But no, so it was a very minimal amount of money. And so I won this thing to go to Gatlinburg. This is great. It's over 4th of July weekend, incredibly crowded to Gatlinburg. So I don't know why I had all this anxiety and fear as I'm driving with my now ex-husband. But anyway, I'm driving there and I just kept having all this anxiety and all this fear. And I couldn't figure out exactly why I was having all of that. So we had a great time. This was beautiful. I mean, it probably slept like 11 people in this place, just us two. It was fantastic. You could sleep in any room you wanted. And it was beautiful. It had a beautiful scenery and all of that. So finally, we had a great time, and we go back, and I did prayer. So I did prayer while I was there because I just had to get rid of and release this anxiety that I was having. So I prayed for safety. I didn't know why I was doing this. I had prayed for safety, and I prayed for peace and divine order and divine right action, and just safe travel all the way around. And I felt a lot better after that because I could just kind of release that because I paid attention to that divine guidance within my own self that really knows, that higher power that knows obviously more than I do, but I'm just paying attention because I know when I haven't paid attention to that, what happens? And he goes, "Are you gonna pay attention to this, Lana? Are you gonna listen?" No, I'm not gonna listen. And then it turns out horrible, right? It turns out terrible. So I really have decided to change that into something else. Now, I was maybe a newly licensed practitioner at that time. And this is definitely like proved God to me, just really proved God. So now we're going home. It's very crowded on these highways. We're in the mountains. Big trucks have gone through these mountains and put oil all over them, and it rained, okay? It was raining. We were hydroplaning on the mountain, going down the mountain, going home. We had just gone to like Wendy's to get like a Frosty. I'm really thankful that didn't go everywhere. Like grasping onto it as my life is flashing before my eyes. And obviously these were some balding tires that my ex-husband had on this car, I'm telling you. And so I'm like, this is a premonition. Well, maybe, it could be. Anyway, the whole point is we ended up landing in the median, going the opposite direction. We didn't hit anybody, thank God. The car was fine. I was like, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, and drinking my Frosty, like, oh my God, what just happened? At least I didn't have like Frosty all over the whole entire interior of the vehicle. But to me, it was like listening to that higher power because I didn't know what was going to unfold. And I was absolutely taken care of in that moment. And so those kinds of experiences build our faith in experiencing God really has me. God is taking me through this anyway, and I'm okay. God is moving me through whatever it is in my life, and I'm taken care of. I'm loved. I'm supported. So it takes a lot of courage and strength to be able to walk through fears, whether that's a divorce, whether that's someone who's passed away, whether that's a job change, whether that's going to school again, right? Whether that's doing whatever, having kids, someone, whatever. Transitioning, I've got elderly parents, that's a whole nother thing. And, you never know what's happening there. And taking me through those situations and knowing that I am absolutely not going to be immobilized by that fear. And I have. And that's a horrible place to be. And sometimes I think we need to be in that place just for a little bit because it's a transition, right? It's a transition. So sometimes we need to stand in that and be in that, but I don't want to be completely immobilized by it. It's kind of like being in a cocoon and you can't really move. So I really want to revolutionize my evolution of my own soul. I want to revolutionize my evolution of my soul by the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm saying. So I had to learn a lot of lessons with this about how do I value my self-worth? How do I value my own self in my life? And I was married. I didn't realize this when I got married. Here I am, a therapist, right? This is great. And I married an alcoholic. Oh, that's fantastic. It's like a beacon. All the people I dated, and then I had to marry an alcoholic. So that's fantastic. And he's a good person. It's not a bad person. He just couldn't stay sober. He went to tons and tons of treatment. We're both in program. I go to Al-Anon. He was going to AA. We were doing our things, working our program, and it just, in this relationship, just could not work. And here's the thing, because I really felt like we had come together, I think, who knows how many lifetimes, but anyway, we had come together to work stuff out together. And I really felt like it was really, really done at that point. Because here's the thing, my soul had a greater opulence in life circumstances that needed to shift and change that I couldn't do any other way. And when I left that, I don't know if you guys have ever been in that place where you just feel absolutely exhausted and depleted on every single level, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and then physical pain showing up in my body. That's always a big key for me. Physical pain in my body. Are you going to listen? This is this divine power within us, or this divine vessel. It's telling us things all the time, these messages that we have. So how do I let my soul soar? It has to be by making some really, really, really radical changes. I had to keep looking. I didn't date for a long time after that. So it'd be we divorced in 2016, but he was out of the house by January of 2015. And so it was almost like a year and a half that I just really wanted to do some, get myself together. I wasn't just going to jump right back into some relationship and then, also work a good program, because I really didn't want to dial up this whole thing again and have another alcoholic in my life. I really just did not want to do that. So just think about this. So sometimes there's these really juicy layers that we have. And I always hate this thing. It's it's an onion, right? And there's many, 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 many layers. I know why this is. It's because it makes you cry. It really does make you cry. Those different layers make you cry. And some of them are really, really juicy to get out of there because we've put them there. They've just kind of accumulated, and that's what we need to get rid of, for sure. So now, I think too back to some of these beliefs and these different things that are there. It's like those dandelions. You ever have a ton of dandelions? Dandelions are a pretty magnificent plant, actually. You can do you can have tea out of that stuff. You can make some wine out of that. You can do all kinds of stuff with these dang dandelions, but they're all over my yard. And so I remember just trying to dig them out. You know how you're trying to dig out a dandelion? You can never get to the very end of that dang root that you got there. And it just grows back over and over and over and over again. And sometimes those are our belief systems, because there's more that needs to be revealed. And so trying to get that out, maybe with a jackhammer, I don't know, but maybe, could be. So now, I was dating again, and I'll kind of flash forward here, and I thought, okay, I'm ready. Now, dating has been different for me. I started dating in what was it? The last time I dated was in the 90s. Now this is 2016. Flash forward to there, and things have changed radically on this whole thing. But I'm trusting God. God's going to find me the right person, right? Find the right person. But again, it depends about your belief systems and what you're going to draw to you. What am I going to draw to myself by what I believe? So what I believe how I feel dictates how I'm going to be in the world. So it's really important to get crystal clear with what those things are. And a lot of times it's unconscious stuff. There's really, really unconscious things that come up and out that we're not even aware of, but here it is. I keep bringing it to me. So now, dating is now online, which is quite scary in and of itself. But I haven't gotten anybody's been online dating recently. I don't know, but some of these, I don't know. It's some of these pictures. I don't know why some of these pictures are like, that's the picture you're going to put up there. That is the picture. That's the picture you're going to go with. So you have to write a little profile. You have to write this little cute profile for yourself and ask for what you want, right? For asking for what you want. And so I started dating this one person. I thought, this person is great. There's no alcoholism, there's no drugs, he seems really healthy, he's working out, he's attractive, he's done all these different kinds of things. There's all these things I'm thinking, this is fantastic. So as time goes on, it doesn't work out so well. That doesn't work out so well. He wasn't in my idea about what I wanted and his idea what he wanted. And don't think that everything you're reading on there is actually true. They have different intentions than I did, And so then I was like, what? Why am I, it's like a boomerang. Why am I drawing to myself this person? What am I drawing to what is it? An emotionally unavailable person. Oh, there's another layer it wasn't as obvious before, because all these other things were pretty glaring and they were more obvious. And so the good art therapist that I am, I'm like, okay, well, I was like, that was a little devastating for me. It really was. Because I'm like, oh, this is good. I thought, oh, this is a new person. This could be positive or whatever. So what I did was I made an I did a collage. And so what I do with that is I just pull out magazines. It's not the easiest to find magazines these days. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. As an art therapist, we're like, where are all the magazines? They're gone. They're gone. They're all online. You got to print them off. So I'm going through these are 20-year-old magazines. It doesn't matter. So I've got images and words, and I'm just pulling out a bunch of stuff that I'm gravitating to. And there it is. There it is. There is all of these things on here that are happening, and I just let myself be in those feelings so I can let it go, so I can release it and forgive it. I can release it and forgive it. Kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier today. I release it and I forgive it. And I forgive myself as well, because you don't know what you don't know when it hasn't been revealed. Denial is a very powerful tool. It's a very, very powerful thing. When you're in denial, you're only going to see what you want to see. And one of the things, when I was working on some things, it was, God, let me see what I really need to see. Let me see what I truly need to see in my life so that it becomes crystal clear. So as I transition into something else, it builds the trust that I have within my own self, beginning to trust the self. And that's really important, is beginning to trust who I am as a person and capable of doing magnificent and great things in the world, just like all of you can do those same magnificent things, because trusting the self is really, really important. I didn't mean to make it loud. Anyway, it was loud. So I had to feel the depth of that physical, emotional pain so I could let it go. So I'm not getting more of that same stuff back over and over and over again. So I got really quiet. And I asked for the truth from God about this belief that I got. And what it said was, I will be abandoned again and again because everyone would leave or I would leave them. To be emotionally vulnerable takes high risk and would protect myself from the pain of the eventual abandonment by pushing them away and validating this belief was actually true. It's true because it was manifesting and it was validating, but it's actually a lie. It's actually a lie. That's powerful. So what I want you guys to do now, we're going to get into this is the other part of what I received from Spirit, but I want you to get really comfortable in more of a meditative place to be able to really, really hear what was said. So close your eyes. Close your eyes. Cross your legs. Get comfortable in that chair. So then I receive from Spirit that I have never been alone ever from Spirit. I only felt I was. I will never leave you and never have abandoned you ever. You are the beloved. You are bathed in the light of Spirit, love, and joy, and comfort. You have always been whole and complete. You are loved beyond measure. You are loved beyond what you can even imagine, because you have been birthed out of divine love. You've always been divine peace. You've always been perfect just the way that you are, and the way that you show up in the world is divine. It's one of peace, and it's one of beauty. And just take a deep breath in, breathing in and exhaling this beautiful, beautiful energy, knowing that you're surrounded by the love and the light and the power of God right here, right now. So uplifted, so much of peace, and letting go of the lies that we've told ourselves, that we're less than or not enough or not this or not that. And really being able to embody that power that has always been within us, that has that divine confidence, that divine beauty, divine self-esteem and self-worth, because we are part of this divinity that is surrounding us and within us. It's that gentleness, that calmness of Spirit, the love and the light of Spirit. And so how good it is, that is. And so now we're just going to continue in this beautiful, beautiful place of serenity. I'm going to do some prayer. So I am knowing that right where we are God. We are part of that light. And how good it is to know that we are part of that beauty. We are part of that power. We are part of that magnificence that we call God, that is imbued within every cell of our body, that is breathing us, moving oxygen to every part of our body. We don't have to think about it. We are just part of that. And that we are absolutely carried through our life. We are absolutely surrounded by safety and peace. That God is creating those next steps in our life. And that we take that courageously, powerfully, easily, and effortlessly. That we have the internal strength. We have the internal peace and divine confidence within our own being to stand in the truth and the power that we really are, that we've been birthed onto this earth plane to be. We are standing in that power. We are imbued with all this power within our own selves. And we come back into our life, standing in that power right here and right now, knowing that we boldly can go wherever we need to, because we have God right there with us every step, every moment of the time that we're here. And I give such thanks for this. I know that every single person in this sanctuary and also online are blessed beyond measure, blessed with their day abundantly expressing it in divine perfection and wholeness. And so I know that everything is an accumulation, a culmination of this complete power of God moving through your life right here and right now. And I know it's so good. It's so good. It's so good to be here. And I give such thanks for this. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, Infinite Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I release this law into the law, it never comes back to me void. And so I let it be. And together we say, and so it is, and so it is. Amen.
Letting go in the stillness, there is peace, there is quiet when we touch the stillness.
All right. Thank you, Lana. All right. The ushers would stand. It's now time for us to say together our love offering blessing. The divine love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Would you be willing to bless the love offering for us?
So just knowing that right here and right now, that all of this financial opulence, that is just love in action. That is love in action. That is to fulfill this church, to go out into all the other ministries that they do here, and all the social events and all the things that are here, and to support this loving community on every single level. Just knowing that this place and this time is just so abundantly expressing itself. And I give such thanks for this. So it is.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for announcements. It's the first Sunday of the month. You know what that means. At 12:30, we are going to have this entire space transformed to a nice, quiet meditative area for our monthly Reiki circle with Eden gracing us with a sound bath. Reverend Linda Ketchum on the 21st at 12:30 is hosting a forgiveness workshop. It's going to be $25 per person or couples for $40. You may email Reverend Linda at spirit7674@gmail.com for more information. Or you can see the sign-up sheet out in the lobby. And if you are not already signed up to give the 0.05% of your purchases from Kroger and Amazon, please get one of these flyers out in the lobby. That portion of all your purchases comes back and helps this community function. And just to put it simply. Soon we have a sign-up sheet out in the social area for the compassion team, for the compassion care team that we are getting ready to start up. There will be flyers in the backs of our chairs soon. And if you want more information, speak with Colleen Foster. As for donating to Unity of Dayton, you have our usual methods of there's PayPal. No, not PayPal. Yeah, we got PayPal. Sorry. Yeah, my eyes are messing up on me. We have PayPal, we got credit, debit, we have cash or check. And if you are not signed up for our weekly newsletter, again, there's a sign-up sheet out in the lobby. You will get all our latest news and updates. So I'm just kind of running through all these. There's a lot this week. Then there is now a weekly vision prayer telephone call with Reverend Chase. Everyone is invited to participate any Tuesday at 9 a.m. The primary purpose is to hold our vision prayer in love, because prayer is even more powerful when two or more are gathered together. The info to join her call is on the vision prayer flyer on Facebook, our weekly newsletter, and on our website, which is unityofdayton.org. The Sacred Feminine Women's Group meets in person on Wednesdays from 10:30 a.m. to noon. Women of Unity are invited to join Colleen Foster for stimulating conversation and connection. Join us on each second Wednesday of the month at 9 p.m. for a sacred drumming at Unity of Dayton. Bring your drum, rattle, or noise maker, and raise your spiritual vibrations. Drumming is offered on an optional love offering basis. Next drumming circle is
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. It says July 13th here. It's throwing me off a little bit. Dan Studebaker, he's still around. He's just on the interwebs. Does a study group online on Zoom on the first and third Wednesday of each month from 7 to 9 p.m. Exploring ascension energies, shifting into the fifth dimension. Email him at dwstudebaker@gmail.com for a Zoom invite. Then we have the Venus Rising Women's Study Group will be held on Monday mornings from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. They are going to start studying a new book called The Four Agreements. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. They are going to start studying a new book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz on Monday, July. It's August. Tomorrow. The 8th. There won't be a group. Tomorrow, the 8th, the rest of the information is all in July. And that's it. Thank you. Forgot my glasses, and there's information that. Okay, and to all of you here and on the internet, I'd like to remind you that you are the light of the world.